Hello, everyone. As you can see, it is a little bit cold here. No pandas were harmed in the making of this hat, trust me. And it's a little bit dark outside because it's fall and things are getting darker earlier. But I was up anyway and I had nothing to do. So, hello and welcome to the DM's Journal. Okay, so before we get into the DM's Journal, I have a character introduction for you because we have another player who has joined the group. So, please welcome.
And in this corner is Toro Rojo, also known as the Ashen Beast. He used to spend his days being a glorious pit fighter in the northern continent of Kaless, but after accidentally maiming a visiting dignitary, he took refuge in Harbor, where he struck up a friendship with Philbus and the rest of the criminal underground.
So, Session 1. The original session, the first session, the session where the game actually begins, the adventure starts to happen, plot hooks are bitten upon. Most of my prep was changing names, reading the adventure, and fleshing out the criminal gangs of my city, because I'm doing a homebrew world, so I'm kind of using this adventure as building blocks, and I'm taking the best bits and the stuff that most excites me and then sort of gluing it onto the world that I've already created. So let's talk about the criminal gangs, because they're fun. They're super cool.
The first and biggest criminal gang is the Dwarven Crime Syndicate. Comprised mainly of dwarves, drow, and rock gnomes, this gang has its hand in most political dealings across the country and under it. Found in all major cities, its territory stretches deep underground, all the way to the Underdark. The gang that calls themselves Zhentarim was started as a reaction to the Dwarven Crime Syndicate's monopoly on organized crime. Harbor is the first big city that the Zhentarim have been able to carve a foothold, but their mercenary camps and highway robbers can be found all across the continent. The Mage's Bane. Run by a mysterious figure known only as Xanathar, this gang manufactures and peddles magical drugs and poisons. It also deals in the creation and fencing of magical artifacts, for those customers who wish to avoid the heavy government regulations. The Guardians of the Lost are the least threatening but the most persecuted of all the gangs. This is where the noble thieves and vigilantes are. They steal from the rich and give to the poor, and take action where justice has failed. So, of course, they are hated by all militia.
Look, it's getting a little bit brighter! Yay! It's gonna be okay. Alright, yeah, so, and other than, changing a few names, that was most of my prep. Thankfully, my players most of them are very experienced role players. And one of them is, I know her very well, and she loves to act, and she loves to get into things, so I'm not worried about any of them, and I didn't need to be. They managed to follow my breadcrumb trail, however hastily it may have been constructed. Prep done, the day of, we all gather in a safe, socially distant, masked manner. We were masked the entire time. And we begin the session. I start the session by having one of the players give a recap. I was given that advice because it's good advice to, I believe by Matt Colville, which he was amazing, and I get most of my DM advice from him and him watching his videos. So I had one of the players sort of recap the session 0 and where we left off, just really quickly, and it was there, which was great, and I gave them a few more details. I reminded them of the name of the inn, which was the Troll Skull Inn, and the name of the halfling barkeep, who was named Kim Shinkle. So they are sitting there with Kim Shinkle, and she is a friendly barkeep, and she sits down to gossip. And I made her voice kind of like Mrs. Higgins or Miggins from Blackadder, the Regency one, where she goes, "Oh yes, oh no." I made it that voice, so that was really fun. But she came down to gossip because I needed to I needed to give the players all of the information that they were supposed to discover for the first 2 levels. So Kim Shinkle tells them that the new mayor has been deposed, and she's talking mostly to Philbus, but everyone is seated around one table, and, she's a halfling tavern owner. She likes to gossip. So she tells the party that that the old mayor, Carl Oakenwright, has been ousted and deposed as mayor, and a new mayor, Laurel Silverhand, stumbling over my own names, that's not good, has been installed as the new mayor. And Carl Oakenwright was deposed as mayor because he was found to be in cahoots with the Dwarven Crime Syndicate and has embezzled 500,000 gold. But the thing is, no one knows where the gold is. The Dwarven Crime Syndicate want that gold because it believes it's their gold, but no one knows where Carl Oakenwright is. The Zentarim want that gold because they don't want the Dwarven Crime Syndicate to get it. The Mage's Bane wants that gold because magic is expensive, and 500,000 gold is pretty dang good. And the Guardians of the Lost want that gold to help the poor and to give it to those who need it most. And Laurel Silverhand wants that gold because it's the government's. So the city is crawling with militia, everyone is on edge, and Harbor is on the brink of a gang war. And then, so she drops that information, and then Toro Rojo comes in. I introduce the new player, and Toro Rojo and Philbus have a relationship together. Not like, they are friends and work compatriots. How would that even work? He's a minotaur, that's a fish. Anyway, Toro Rojo comes in, and he also has news. He's coming in with a purpose, because he knows that someone is coming to meet Philbus to potentially talk about the stone that has the information of the 500,000 gold coins. Toro Rojo knows that someone is coming to meet Philbus, so he's headed to the Troll Skull Inn, which is where Philbus generally stays, and he's like, okay, what's up? What's going on? Have you met anybody yet? And so as soon as he comes in and asks that, kaboom! The fireball goes off. Coincidentally, killing the person that was coming to meet Philbus. So the players, because they are good players and they like to RP, rush outside to investigate. It's all very exciting. They find a couple of dead bodies, two of whom they recognize, one of whom Toro Rojo recognizes as the person that was coming to see Philbus. He has nothing on him but a dagger. And the other they recognize as a Zentarim, member of the Zentarim gang. So, which is odd because the guy, the meet was set up by the Zentarim. So the party does some digging, and Smiles and Ishi, my Tabaxi Bard and my Aarakocra Druid, they find a little halfling boy who saw the blast and who found the necklace of fireballs that was used to set off the blast. And in the book it says with a DC 8 charisma check, which Smiles can absolutely beat easily, but he didn't even need to make a roll because the halfling boy is a little beggar, and Smiles offers him 5 gold for the necklace, and that's more gold than that little halfling boy has seen, ever. So he gladly trades it for that and runs away, and that's important that Smiles just blithely offered 5 gold away like it was nothing. Then the militia came, because the militia have to come eventually, and they start interviewing everybody. And I had them roll a DC deception check, but Ishii decided not to roll a deception check, because he was like, no, I tell them everything, including the fact that they had found a necklace of fireballs, and that a thing called a Nimblewhite might have set it off. Luckily, Ishii told them that Smiles, the bard, had the necklace of fireballs, because Ishii doesn't lie, apparently, which is going to be very fun. I'm definitely going to use that to my advantage if I can, like, story-wise. So the militia move. They go to Smiles, and they go, you have the necklace of fireballs? And Smiles, handily beating them at a deception check, goes, oh, no. I don't have the necklace of fireballs. We found the necklace of fireballs, and it was stolen from us by a little halfling boy. Ha 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 ha. We don't know where it is. And the guards believed him, and then they moved on. I had nothing. I was like, oh no. In my head, I was like, oh god. The PCs are supposed to start talking to the NPCs. They're supposed to already be emotionally invested in the city, in the world, in the storyline of the missing stuff, because they've already fought. They've already had to deal with a bunch of shit. And they are already embroiled in it by the time the fireball goes off. But this is just the introduction. So I was like, oh no, I need to get them willing to investigate. So I was like, great, the Guardians of the Lost, because I knew that would tug on a couple people's heartstrings. I create a character and call him Hundi Burundi, because I had no idea what to call him, and I just tossed out a name in the first syllables that came out of my brain. Hundi Burundi. I had him be a half-elf, I believe. Which is a weird name it's just a weird name in general. It sounds like something the Marx Brothers would come up to, like Hongadunga, and McCormick. Which is a very old gag if anybody knows any Marx Brothers. So, the party is all once again sitting down at the table, and this half-elf figure rushes in, and Hundi Burundi starts being like, Philbus, because everyone in the criminal underground knows who Philbus is. He's a known courier, a respected courier, a trusted courier. And I found that very useful in treating the party as if they were already a party, because Hundi Burundi just starts talking business in front of everybody, as if everybody is already involved. Partly because I just needed them to become a party, so I treated them as a party. But they ran with it. They were very nice. Hundi Burundi is looking for information on the stone. He knows that there is a meeting going down, and he knows there's a fireball. So he offers the players 5 gold each for any information they have. And then Hundi Burundi, I sit there expectantly, hoping that they'll begin a dialogue with me, and they just go, yeah, okay, cool, we'll let you know. And so I'm like, oh, that wasn't enough gold. Okay, I need something else. So I decide to put an even bigger red button, and I make another gossip, because there is a NPC named Fala Lefalier who saw somebody steal something off of the body and head up north. And I was like, okay, I need them to follow somebody. I need them to hunt something. So she comes in, Hundi Burundi leaves, and Fala Lefalier comes in, because it's Grand Central Station at the Troll Skull Inn. So she comes in, and she starts to gossip with Kim Shinkle, her friend, and she tells everybody, I saw a person wandering off towards the lane after getting it. It was so funny. Which is, I think, one of my favorite voices to do. So I have a feeling a lot of my NPCs are going to have that voice. And they take the bait, And they get up and they follow the guy because they could probably see that I was desperately going, like, please follow this trail this way, go this way. And they did. So that was nice. So the party heads up to the Bent Nail, which is the hideout of the Zentarim. And Phobos and Tora Rojo know that that's the hideout of the Zentarim. They kind of waltz on in. And of course the guards don't stop them. But they were in mourning, so we'll let it pass. And inside, they find about 150 Zentarim in mourning, having a wake, and who are a little bit annoyed that they have busted in without asking and are suddenly asking questions about who died and why and what went wrong. And they're like, what are you doing? This is a wake. Go away. And Tora Rojo tries to, like, he's like, oh yeah, is it a fight going? And I'm like, sure, 150 Zentarim surround you. Like, let's go, dude, you want to fight? And he backed down, which was very nice of him. And they go outside and they talk to the two people sitting in chairs outside. And they are the brother and sister of the Zentarim agent who died in the fireball blast. They say that they were betrayed by the Grollands up in Grolland Manor, who sort of funded this whole exposition for political gain. And they offer the party 100 gold each. They negotiated 100 gold each, but I kind of really wanted them to take the bait, so I gave it to them, which might come back and bite me in the bum later on. But they offered 100 gold each if they would go to Manor Grolland and get revenge. And information. But mostly revenge. In fact, I believe the exact words were, I want you to go to that house and fuck it up. So, which may have been poor choice on my part, but it gets us to the next section, which is the manor, and they have to, like, go through and do some investigating, so hopefully I'll figure out a way to get, and to keep the adventure shakily on track. Everyone seemed to have fun. Everyone got along, and at the end of the day, I guess that's the most important part. It's not how perfect it was, but how much fun everybody had doing it, so... yeah, there you go. Alright, and we're not gonna have D&D for the next few weeks. My group isn't gonna meet because it's the holidays and life happens. So we'll see if I can get a video made explaining the world, because I think that would be pretty cool. We'll see how that goes. And if not, I will see you next session, next time I have a DM thing happening. Okay, bye!